Another thing that you just said it, and I want to mention it again, is like lots of us feel like no one is approving us, no one is recognizing, no one is giving us the enough credit. But not until that you stand for yourself and you put yourself priority. I think it's just like an oxygen mask in an airplane. Like you need to put the oxygen here in order to be able to help someone else. I had to learn I need to be my own priority. And I need to respect myself so much, and I need to say no, and regardless who that person is, if it's my mom, my loved one, my family, anyone, my kid, anyone, because if I say yes to something that doesn't have that value for me, I lie to myself, I basically killed myself, and I kind of cheated on my soul, and I couldn't be the best version of me. So it's just being so truthful to myself and to my soul and supporting me by myself. I felt like we need to teach this to people. Like you don't need other people's approval, because after you approve yourself, the world completely becomes a different place.
Yeah.
Because now you look at everything with sympathy and empathy, and then you can empathize with people, and even if they don't look at the world with your point of view, and it's perfectly fine, you know, it's like you have a different journey, like you have a different understanding, you have a different point of view, and you're not looking for people's approval. So you just completely, after you approve yourself, like I feel like world becomes a way more beautiful place, like which everything comes in harmony compared to prior to that when I didn't approve myself, right? And it was just so many things didn't make sense. And my entire life I felt like I was fighting for that everyone to approve me, which I wasn't approving myself.
I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's just everything changed when and it wasn't, it's a process, and it's still an ongoing process.
Absolutely.
There are stuff that I, don't approve of myself, but now I know that I shouldn't be beating myself up for it, but I should look at it from a constructive angle and see, well, how can I make this better?
Yeah.
Yes. But as I became more loving and acceptance of myself, so much growth has happened, like so much prosperity, so much growth, even from my posture, from the way I talk, everything, breakthrough in every aspect of my life, and it gets me closer to my goals in life.
Yes.
When you approve of yourself, you're that much closer to your own goals or your calling.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So beautifully said. Very good question, because they asked me, so I want to ask you, what techniques did you use in order to get to know yourself better, in order to be more content about myself? How was the process?
Yeah, well, one of the techniques that I use is called the stop, look, choose technique. And the founder of this technique is Dr. Ferishte Mir Hashemi. She's also another one of my mentors and role models that I look up to. But this one I actually, have conversations with. She's like my life coach, not just on TV.
This one is not your imaginary
friend. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then this one knows I exist. And so, she actually wrote a book, and we're working on translating it into English. Oh, nice. And she actually has these classes all over the world. Mm-hmm. But one of the techniques that that really, really helped me was just to pause a little. Just stop. Don't choose yet. Don't choose without pausing. Don't judge without pausing. Stop. Make a choice. Stop, look, choose. Stop, look, and then choose. So for me, whether it was, okay, Safora, why did you say this stupid thing that day? So instead of beating myself up, stop, look, observe, learn from it, and then choose to let it go.
I see.
Choose to learn from it. Choose to responsibly go back and do whatever it is you have to do for the rest of the day. Don't dwell on it.
I see.
That's one technique. And another one is, I don't know if it's a technique or a habit, but I have to smile at myself in front of the mirror.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that something that you start, like a coach told you or someone told you that you had to start this practice?
Yes.
Okay.
It was something like that, but I had been doing this from age 15.
And yes. Because of your past job too? Or it just...
Yes, because of my past job, and but it was the things that came into my life, all if you look back in hindsight, you see that, okay, this thing that I learned at age 15, for example, actually helped me for when I was at age 17 to go into the newsroom. But I think that person knew how conflicted I was and how much I was beating myself up, that they just told me to love yourself and look yourself in the mirror.
Was this a coach that you had?
This was, this was...
So you got coaches and you went through different coaching as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And I still, to that day...
So you did coaching, and then you're through reading books, and then any other techniques? Like any other methods? Like you suggest, like if you want to grow, like I recommend you do this and this and this.
Don't get too comfortable.
Don't get too comfortable.
Yeah. If it's comfortable, it means you can do better.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you're comfortable is like, I'm not sure majority of the people that are so comfortable, they're okay with whatever is going on. Like they feel like stuff is bothering them, but because change is really hard. No one said change is easy. No. Change is hard work. So, but in order to go through the hard work, you need to go through heartbreak. You need to go through like up and down, cry, this and that. So being comfortable is so easy because you don't have to go through any of those. You can tell yourself, I'm comfortable. Right? Yeah. Like you don't do anything. Exactly. I'm just comfortable.
Like you're miserable.
You're miserable, but you choose to be comfortable.
Yeah, but you're comfortable. You're comfortable in your misery. So yeah, you.
But imagine if you have to go through the change and then you cry at least for 6 months or a year, or let's say 2 years, and then you have a lifetime in front of you, which you can live your life that you always desired. Right?
Exactly.
I love you.
I love you. You know it. I really do think you're my oldest friend. Even though in this life, we only met... Actually, it's becoming 3 years.
Yeah. But I know you for 3,000 years at least.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
In past lives.
In past lives, yes. Which another day we will talk about past lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were probably like the bunny and I was the turtle in that life.
In dinosaur life?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we know each other from that long.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything that you want me to ask you?
Is this part going to get edited? The part that you just asked that?
No. Why do you want to edit this? I think this is a real conversation. I don't see any reason we need to edit it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I like that. I would like you to ask me about my favorite food, and I'll tell you what. Well, you'll get it about my favorite food. My and my favorite book.
Oh yeah, favorite book you told me.
Yeah.
Favorite food. Okay, Safora, what is your favorite food?
All right. So.
And why?
And why? Yeah. No, don't ask me why. You'll see where.
Okay.
Remember how at the beginning of the show I said, like, sometimes I feel like I don't belong except for that place, that school. Well, for me, I really, like, if you look at my favorite food list or my favorite song list or favorite movie list, it's all of both worlds. Like, you know, I like my, like, hamburgers rare, and I like my chili kebab well done, you know. Yeah.
You are from both worlds.
I am.
Okay.
And you know, so the Iran has. I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore. But Iran has these really tiny cigarettes called like Bahman, and it's like signature of Iran. They're tiny and they're the cutest little thing, but the harshest thing. They're like worse than Marlboro Reds or Camel or something. And I used to always have both Marlboro Lights and Bahman because that's who I am.
Wow.
When I used to smoke. Yeah.
That is funny. That is funny. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's how you see your identity.
That's it. Like,
That's
you know, who's like a figure that you look up to. Well, it could be both Abe Lincoln and Cyrus the Great. You know, that's why, like, you know.
I see.
I can't
Really
go with one, but I do have.
Why do I like sushi?
Well,
am I Japanese and I didn't know?
I love sushi too.
You love sushi.
Yeah.
But apparently yours is first hamburger and chili kebab.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. And what is your favorite book, Safora?
So, my favorite book is The Count of Monte Cristo. A lot of people think that this book is about revenge, but because one of the most prominent quotes in that book is, "Revenge is a dish best served cold," meaning that you know, if you let time pass, you may forget about taking revenge, meaning that don't take revenge when you're too hot about it on the subject. Let it be cold so you can still have that stop, look, choose mentality. But for me, it's not the revenge part that attracted me to this book or this character. It was his perseverance, that he wouldn't give up. He would just keep continuing and continuing. It's amazing. You know, the movie's out also, and you can, you know, watch it.
How amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think, you know, since you talked about this subject, so it was completely off topic, what do you think about revenge? Like the subject revenge, how do you look at revenge?
Well,
as an entrepreneur, as an attorney, as a
really
girl, you know, like, what do you think about this subject?
I am going to be honest. I have a love-hate relationship with revenge. And I'll give you an example. Back in February, there was a case that I stepped into it, and pretty much it was right before Valentine's Day, and I had important plans for Valentine's, right? And so I got this case, and I really wanted to help the client, but I just stepped into it. So I asked the opposing counsel whether he would be amenable to giving me just the weekend an extension instead of doing it on Friday. Giving it in, providing the answer or serving the answer on Monday. So it's just 2 day extension. And his response to me was, absolutely not. And usually in our world, professional courtesy allows us to grant each other extensions. I do. I've never heard absolutely not before. Now this was in February. Just 4 or 5 days ago, a month ago, we had propounded our discovery requests on him and his client. And just 4 or 5 days ago, he had asked us for an extension. And I wrote this email for him. I explained to him that I could have, if I wanted to be vengeful, I could have just replied and said absolutely not. I did. I didn't give him the extension at all, but it wasn't from a place of revenge. It was a place of standing up for myself. Mm-hmm. So I think because if you do revenge in my opinion, it's not from a place of strength.
Yeah. Correct.
But if you take a stand for yourself and you don't allow a man or a bully or someone, whether a man or a woman, take it, be like that, that comes from a place of strength. And for me, instead of just telling him absolutely not, I responded to his email and I explained to him that I usually would, but because you didn't grant me the extension, and also there was a second time we had asked him for another extension. Also, my associated counsel's dog had died. We needed extension for that, and right before that, my grandmother had died. So he didn't grant us an extension. So I listed all of this for him, and I said there was no reason for you not to give us the extension. Anyway, long story short, I did include the absolutely not in the email because I thought that comes from a place of strength.
So you stood for your right, but the word revenge doesn't bother you in order to have a revenge, in order to feel good about it, but you just stand up for your right. Is that how I'm right? I'm interpreting it?
Yeah. For me, revenge is it drags me down because it's constantly going to
negative energy.
It's going to be that negative energy. It's like not being able to let go of something, and it does, like I said, it doesn't. For me, instead wanting to grow or desired for growth is more productive or constructive instead of revenge.
Absolutely. I'm gonna add this to what you said. Like, anytime I feel like negativity comes to my life or comes to either my personal life or my business life, I feel like it's a waste of my time to go after someone, teaching someone a lesson or like revenge. And I feel like instead of that, if I put all that energy that I have in like rebuilding it and fixing it and have like a constructive plan how to correct what I made a mistake in, like I can redirect my energy in the right path and direction, and I can make something successful and meaningful for myself instead of teaching someone who did wrong to me or just or like ruined something that I thought is gonna be okay. Of course, I get fearlessly mad for the 48 hours, and you know how mad I get. Yes, you witnessed that. But within 2 days, I tell myself, Helen, shut up. It's not worth it. Your time is way more valuable. Exactly. I respect you. This is not worth of who you are. Just focus on positive and move forward. But the first 2 days, I'm about to kill someone. But I try to isolate myself, and I try to just spend time with my loved one so I can pass time, so I can come to my senses and then move on.
So not to turn the tables around right now, but your technique is also stop, look, choose. Because you isolate yourself and you pause and do you think that's a technique you use?
Like I never thought about it in the words, like what's the technique that I'm using, but definitely business taught me, like, so many times I cannot make fast decisions. So I have to wait and observe and then analyze and then give answer within a day or 2 days.
Very
But
nice.
my answer cannot come right away. Like, I can fuss about it, but I will not tell the other direction, who my client or with whoever I have the challenge with. I will never give my answer or show my, beside that 3 months that I was under hormones, that I turned to a monster.
We call that the 3 months.
The 3 months.
That's
The
it.
3 months.
We know
I
what it
turned to
is.
something scary. But beside that, I try to just go over it and then analyze it, calm down, and then move forward. Because I learned to love myself. And if I love myself so much, I don't think any negative energy worth allowing to just live in me, in my body, in my soul. So I need to keep it, maintain it zen.
Beautiful.
Okay. So, couple of questions.
Again? More?
Again? Few. Oh, well, let me see. Let me see if I have funny question to ask you.
I'm just joking.
Oh.
No, you can ask me anything you want. I'm just
Okay.
getting comfortable.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have a perfect question for you since you're getting comfortable.
Uh-oh.
What makes you uncomfortable?
Oh, what makes me uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Being put in a spot where I would need to choose between two people.
That's definitely uncomfortable.
That's uncomfortable. But you know what's worse than that?
Hmm.
When you come into a gathering or like a room full of people and you want to shake hands, and then it becomes this awkward moment where like you're bringing your hand and your hand is up here, and then a person does not shake your hand, they're shaking the person.
Yes,
next to you.
yeah.
That's very
That's
uncomfortable.
very uncomfortable. Okay. Okay, what was your worst date?
Oh my gosh. Okay. There was this girl, all right. I met her on one of these online dating things, and on paper everything was great until I met her. She was gorgeous, very beautiful. She had a governmental job, but the thing, let's just, for sake of just like keeping things anonymous, let's just say, I'm not going to reveal where she's from or anything or where I met her, but let's just say, hypothetically speaking, she was a Middle Eastern girl. Okay, and from the moment she picked me up to the moment she dropped me off, it was either she was talking about her FBI job, that we in the FBI do this, or we Middle Eastern girls are like this, we Middle Eastern girls are like that, we Middle Eastern girls are like this, and that, I'm like, how narcissistic could you be?
I can definitely relate with that. I think I went through a time that I was like that.
Yeah. Wait, you yourself?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, I remember being to the places that the whole 2 hours I talked about how great I was. Like, I did that like for 6-7 years. Like, right after.
I can't see you being like that.
It was short term I did. And I think I was covering up that I'm perfect. Like, I want.
So?
Yeah. I was definitely still wasn't like as content and understanding what is it that I need to be, and definitely I was still projecting a perfect image. But tell
I'm
me.
having a hard time believing that's true, because there is, with all of your glamour and your beauty and your
Thank you.
your your self awareness, you do have a sense of humility, which I adore.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to see that you could ever be narcissistic like that.
You know what they said about me in the previous interview? They said, I'm my number one, I am the number one fan of my friends. So this is why.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This
You
is why.
are my
I love
number
you.
one.
Okay.
I am your number one fan.
And I'm your number one fan. So entire time she just talking about how great she was.
Yeah.
And then were you annoyed as fuck?
Yeah. It's the reason it was my worst day. It was because it just, I feel like it was such a waste of time. And I just feel like it made me feel like shit afterwards, first of all, because I'm like, what did you see in yourself that we are women? We're all one. Like, why did you set such borders and boundaries? Like, it's a date. It's supposed to be like closer, getting closer to each other and stuff.
I don't know. I start seeing people more and more, especially the one that they are trying to project that they're so perfect. I see them so miserable inside.
Yeah.
So if you look at them by themselves, or maybe if you can finally have them open up, you will see how miserable they are inside. And I kind of saw that with so many people that they were feeling so perfect about themselves. What do you think about that?
No, definitely. I could definitely relate to that. I mean, it happens. Like, if you're not happy with something, you're projecting something else outwards and in your exterior. Yeah. Yeah. That's a very generous way of looking at people, because you're coming from a place where you're understanding them. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
See, that's why I told you guys she's my mentor.
Oh, I love you.